Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this Dev plus DevOps add-on session. So, Asmita ma'am,
Yes, ma'am.
Over to you, ma'am.
Yeah. Ma'am, my screen is visible and
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
okay, thank you, ma'am. Okay, now let's start. So, welcome for day 3. We'll see all the advanced topic in the today's lecture. Firstly, we'll revise everything what we have learned till last Sunday. So, what is Java? Why Java is used? What are the features of the Java? Everything we already completed, but we'll see. So, Java, firstly, Java was developed by the James Gosling in 1991. It is a simple language, like our English language. The syntax is pretty simple. It is portable, platform neutral, means you can write a language on any machines or any operating system, like the OS Mac or the OS like Microsoft, anywhere, and you can run it on anywhere. So it is written as write once or run everywhere. Okay, so that is all things about the Java. Why to learn the Java? Because Java have a large community, which is more than 10 millions of Java developer are present, and everywhere in every new technology, the Java is a base point. Like for the Android, for iOS developer, core Java is a base point. So I think to learn the Java is important if you want to go for the develop in a development field in IT industry. Then then the Java installation, JDK, JRE, the three important things in the Java is like JVM, JDK, and JRE. Three are the important components. So, what is JDK? So, JDK is nothing but your Java development kit, which have your tools like a compiler and debugger, and this is used while developing your code. So, JDK is used during the program compiler we have already seen. In JRE, the Java runtime environment which need for the execution of the program, which contain the libraries and other components. How Java works? So, the firstly the Java code. That is our program. When we compile it, it converted into byte class or it is also called as a byte code or the dot class file, which is the machine level language. So it is machine level language is critical for the JVM, that is what we call JVM, highly platform dependent, whereas the Java components are not a platform dependent. So in W, they were last JVM is platform dependent or not. Yes, JVM is platform dependent, but because you will see JVM of Mac is different, JVM of Windows is different, and JVM all our this is the overflow, the flow of the Java, how it works. And the first Java program, that is the class, is made up of the blueprint of your program. So class and class name, public messages, access public private protected. These are the access modifier. Static means it does not require any to call this method. So that is called as an statics. Void means this method does not return anything. That is why the void. Main is of the main thread from where of your program start. Okay. So system out.println is is the syntax for printing anything on a console. System.print. System is a class where out.println, these are the methods of system. Void does not return anything, static does not return. The class does not require initialization. So data type, the two data.
Students, be online. There is some technical glitch. Ma'am is going to join us. Give us 2 minutes. Students, students, please hang in there. There is a technical problem.
Sorry, network, because of some network issue. Okay. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Okay. We'll start with the typecasting. So I hope till this everything is clear how to declare a variable. So variable declaration is simple. Any int means it is a data type with the variable length. Okay, when you explicitly not assign anything, that means the compiler will assign 0 for this age. Okay. uh, then typecasting is one of the important concept in the Java. I already given one example, like big box and small box. मतलब छोटा box बड़े box में जा सकता है, वो एक concept ध्यान में रखने का. Like int is a small one than the long one. Okay, so whenever you assign x is equal to 10 and the variable x you will assign to y, that time it will not give any error. So बड़ा वैल्यू स्मॉल को छोटा वैल्यू स्मॉल को असाइन किया, कुछ इश्यू नहीं होता है. That is called as a implicit typecasting. You need not require any explicit word in front of this x, so that is called as a implicit typecasting. But when बड़ा आप उल्टा नहीं कर सकते, opposite condition is false. So explicit, for the explicit case you have to declare like data types in front of that variable. So that is implicit and explicit. Then the input, we have seen the scanner class. Scanner class is one of the important class. With the help of the scanner class, we used to take the input from the user. For this scanner class is present in the Java util package. We create the object of the scanner class with the object creation process is very simple. New is a keyword with the scanner. Okay, scanner is again the same name of your class, and we pass system.in. System is one of the class where we pass the input. Okay, and for the string it is next line. For the integer it is next line. For the float, next float. Okay, when these are the method of the scanner class. Okay, so how to take the input. Then operator, there are arithmetic operation, relational operator, logical, bitwise, conditional. So ternary condition, this is ternary condition which is same as your if else. If this condition true, then output will be the expression 2. Else, if this condition false, the output will be the expression 3. Arithmetic plus operation will give you the plus result, minus will give you the negative result, multiplication, mod, all these operations. So assignment operator equal to means this assignment operator will assign your value, your right hand value to the left hand variable. So plus equal to means it assign plus do the addition also at the same time. Then condition statement, that is if else statement. There are if as well as multiple if else statement are also present. So nested, that is also called as nested if else. So if means you write your condition. If this condition becomes true, then if one part will execute. Else the other is a simple if else statement. If you when you means do the program, if you know the value or the output for this that is fixed, means for first day is Monday, and second is that is fixed, that time go with the switch statement. So switch statement, it pass any value you input in the. So the switch when you pass the day two is passing, so case 1 will not execute, directly case 2 will execute, and you will get the output as today is a Tuesday, okay, on a console. If I remove this break statement, we already did this programming. If break statement is removed from all these test cases, what happen? From where this condition is true now, after that whatever the print statement are present, they all will print, okay. So this is this is switch statement. Then loops, very famous for loop is there. So always we go within for loop. For loop is I, first condition, initialize condition, then the exit condition, means up to what point you want to execute that loop, okay. And then n plus plus means I will get plus plus, okay, or till that point, end point. So arrays nothing but a collection of similar data types, okay. We already seen how to declare the array. We did some programmings of the array. So array is nothing but collection of similar data type, means what it only, if you declare the array with the integer, it only stores the integer value, it does not store your character, okay. So it is called as a homogeneous types. Array always index, it start with the 0, so its length is always n minus 1, okay. Then array is like an object. We already discussed object is created on the heap. Similar way, string and array also created on the heap only, okay. So declaration of array is simple int array with new int, or directly you can assign your value 1 2 3 4. So this one is start from the 0th index. This is 1 2 and 3. Then strings, again I told already, string is immutable. So this is the question they might be asked in the interview. String is mutable or immutable. So in the Java, string is immutable. It can't, the string's value is not changed, okay. That is called immutable. And to make a many transaction on the string, we might be go with a string builder and string buffer. We already discussed these two topics. So string object does not change, okay. String pool, one concept is there in the string. If anyone created one string, okay, that time this S will check that string welcome is present on a heap or inside that pool or not. If it is not present, then it will create a new object on this heap. If it is present, then only the assigning to that object, okay. It means the variable here s2 and s1 were pointing to the same memory location where welcome string is present, because we are declaring both to the same variable which is already present. That is why it is just pointing to the same memory location. So string pool concept is there. Then string have many methods. We can find out the length of string, substring, concat. We did all these programs in the last session only, okay. So that one thing is important, that the string object are immutable, okay. Then Java program structure, class and object. To execute anything in the program, we need a object, okay. And what is class? Class is a blueprint or the template. For example, your E&TC department is a class, whereas your HOD, your principal, your teachers, these are nothing but the entities. And to get anything work done from those entity, we create a method, and to access that method, we need an object, okay. So this is all about the concept of class and object. Method is nothing but the collection of statement, means अपना logic present inside that method. Class होता है, class में method होता है, where are logical present. So method is nothing but collections of statement, collections of logical statement, okay, to perform that is grouped together to perform a specific operation. So return type होता है method को. Main is also one method where the return type is void. So you can do any, if you are returning based on what you are returning. If you are returning integer, then give so, and this method name parameter list. If you want to pass any parameter to those method, then the parameter list. If you don't want to send any parameter, please don't send it. Means it depend on your requirement. If they want, you can pass. If they don't want, you you can leave it as it is. So these are the methods. Then constructor, when we have seen the object creations, right? So whenever we write a new keyword, that time the first call goes to the constructor. Okay, so what is constructor? Constructor name is same as your class name. And what is the difference between constructor and method? This one more question might be asked in the interview. The difference between constructor and method is that constructor does not return anything, so it does not have any return types. Method have the return type. Though method does, if method does not return anything, though we write the void as in return type. In the constructor, we don't write or don't write anything in front of constructor names. Okay, so simple it is. Two type of constructor are there: default constructor and parameterized constructor. If I write any program and yeah, if I not explicitly written the constructor, then the compiler will do this task for me. Okay, so this here it is a class, demo class, and I have not written the constructor, which is the same name of the my class. So here after the compilation, compiler do create the default constructor for me. So default constructor demo one, which blank. Okay, not pass anything, nothing. So parameterized constructor, if I want for example pi value is 3.14. Okay, and whenever my method or my program will execute, that that time the pi value must be 3.14. So what I can do, I can do the parameterized constructor and pass that value to those methods. So it is always start with 3.14. So parameterized constructor concept. Then access modifier, these are the access modified: public, private, protected. Then inheritance, these are the oops concept. Okay, so oops concept, the four basic oops concept are there: inheritance, polymorphism. So inheritance, polymorphism, abstractions. Okay, so what is inheritance? Means what? We are we have some characteristics of our parents, right? Might be our eyes same as our mother or father. Okay, like that. So inheritance is nothing but it is a kind of relationship and having a parent's property inside us. So in the Java also the same will have, like, class B is a child class and class A is a parent class. Okay, if I want properties of class A, means parent class, I want properties of parent class, I can get into the class B. Okay, so that is with the keyword extend. So for the inheritance I use a keyword extend. Okay, it is also called as a super class, and this class B is also called as a subclass. So that is the inheritance. So purpose of inheritance, why people go with an inheritance? Because code reusability. But the one disadvantages of inheritance is that it is highly coupled. So what is mean by highly coupled? If one of my colleagues did any changes in the parent class, this will affect to my base class. So that is called as an that is why it is called as an tightly coupled. Okay, this type of inheritance, that is single, multi-level, and hierarchical. We did the programming of this three types. Okay, in the last session only. Method overloading and method overriding. Comes under the this comes under the polymorphism concept. Okay, polymorphism means what? It is nothing but we can it means having many forms. We can define polymorphism as an ability of message to display in a one than more than one form. So polymorphism is two types of polymorphism: compile time polymorphism, runtime polymorphism, or it is also called as a method overloading. Also it is also called as an early binding, late binding, method overriding. So method overloading and method overriding. So overloading means same name but different type of argument passes. Okay, and we already did the method, how to overload the main method. Can we overload the main method? Yes, but we can't override the main method. Okay, then method overriding concept is there. Method overriding is the same name. For example, difference is method overloading. Animal is my base class or is my parent class, and dogs are my child classes. Okay, so superclass have a method eat. This is overloading, so it have a passing the string. Okay, so this is called overloading. Overriding having the same method, but during the runtime, the compiler will get to know which method I have to call, animal wala it method or dog wala it method. So that is why it is called runtime polymorphism. During compile time only, when we pass the values, that time only compiler will know I have to call this wala method or this wala method. So this is called compile time polymorphism or early time polymorphism. Early binding, this is called late binding. Or during the runtime, the compiler know which method to call, so it is called late binding or overriding, or it is also called as a runtime polymorphism. So polymorphism, static class level variable means does not require any object creation for the static. Local means the value of those variable will remains inside that block only. Okay, or the constructor, anything inside whatever you declare that variable, that is a local for those methods and constructor. Instance variable which you declared outside any method or the constructor. Then encapsulation, which bind encapsulation and abstraction, these two things. So bind together code, it is code and data together as in single units, that is called as an encapsulation. And the abstraction is nothing but it is the only the essential data is need to be displayed. Okay, that is called as an abstraction. Inside whatever happening is not bother for you. I mean, you only dial the number inside what inside the your cell phone, what happened, that is not bother, or that is not your point of view, point of thinking ki what is happening inside. You just dial your number and you connect to your friend, that's it. That is called as an abstraction. So that is the abstraction and encapsulation. So encapsulation, data hiding, while the abstraction is data hiding, but details hiding means what is implementation details is hiding from everyone. So advantages of encapsulation interface, we have seen the multiple inheritance is not possible in the Java, but we can implement the we can do the multiple inheritance with the help of interface. Interface, these are the khali pili wala method. No logic is present inside the interface. Okay, only abstract final methods are present till the Java 9. अभी आगे जैसे जावा वर्जन ऐड हो रहा है वैसे एक डिफॉल्ट मेथड ऐड हुआ है इंटरफेस में. यू कैन राइट अ डिफॉल्ट मेथड इनसाइड द इंटरफेस, बट टिल I guess till Java 8 you will have only final set abstract method, okay, inside the interface. And interface, the name, declaration is very simple, interface with the name, okay, whatever the name of interface. And write down only the method definition, not any logic inside that. And when you implement that interface in your class, that time we override those methods. Override, we have already seen the concept. We override those methods and we write our logic specifically. Specification is done inside that class. Okay, inside this interface, generalized things are present. So that these are the things. Exception handling. Now the next an important topic is exception handling. We'll go with the exception handling. Okay, so why exception handling come into picture? Why we need the exception handling? Okay, So to handle the exception, and what happen if we not handle any exceptions? Okay, so these are the basic question. So exception handling is the mechanism to handle the exception at the runtime. Exception is the condition which that occur during the program execution, and it lead to program termination abnormally. Okay, so I will show you one program for this, how this how this happen. So Java have inbuilt exception handling. Inbuilt exception handling also we can give like user made exception we can generate our exceptions also, but it have their own exception handling system. So we'll see one example. Okay, we'll give the name. Okay, exception. I need the static void main, then finished. Okay, now we'll do one thing. If I declare a variable as an first input 1 is equal to, I declared it as an 0, and inside the next input is, consider input 2 is equal to 7. Okay, and my result is result is equal to input 2 divided by input 1. Okay, we'll save this program. Okay, and well done. Okay, if I run this, we'll check. So it is giving me error as an arithmetic exception divide by 0 error. So that is called as an exception. Why this came? If you see, it is like 7 divided by 0. When 7 divided by 0, it is not possible. That is why it is giving error as an arithmetic exception. So this is called arithmetic exception. Okay, so this is nothing but your exception. How it is looks, this is the way the exceptions look. So exception is nothing but the mechanism by which we can handle the exception at the runtime. So exception is a condition that occur during the program and leads to program termination. As we've seen, when this exception happen, whatever I have written after that, we'll check it will execute or not. Okay, so till line on this line 8 will get exception. We'll see the 10th line number 10th will execute or not. Okay, when I execute this, see line number 10 will not execute, so this will interrupt the all execution of your programs. Okay, so means the problem with the execution is it terminate the program and skip the rest of the execution. That means if your program is of 100 lines of code, and at the line number of 8, if you find any exceptions or exceptions is occur at line number 8, then the program will terminate, and immediately by skip all the remaining executions line. Means if 90 lines of code is present, it will not execute it. So for this we need some mechanism to handle, so that my this exception will handle here only and other part will get executed. So that is called as an exception. So this is nothing but the exception, and that these are the reasons why we need. Because after this reason, after here added 8 lines my execution failed, but I want this 10 number of line on my console. Okay, that is important for me, but because of this exception, this 10th line will not get print. That is why the exception mechanism came into picture. Okay, so there can be a several reasons that leads to the exceptions, means including programmer error is there, hardware failures are there. We can't do for anything for the hardware failure, but for the programmer errors we can handle those exceptions. So that need to be open and cannot be found. So the exception, Java exception handling provide the meaningful message to user. Means whenever the exceptions happen, this time also compiler give the pretty much clear explanation, like your execution is ended, or it is exceptions is occurred because of your other arithmetic exceptions. Okay, because of divide by zero. So it give the pretty clear explanation why it is failed. Okay, so Java exception handling provides a meaningful message to user about the issue, rather than system generated message, which may not be understand to the user. Sometimes whatever the system generated message are there, they might be a complicated one, and you can't resolve the issues by seeing those error message. Because of that, handling these issues at user level or at the programming level is important to solve those issues easily. When this happens during the production live, or during your enhancement going live, or during your programming, okay, dev programming. So exception handling is the most important and the critical concept in the Java. A Java exception is an object that describes the exceptions. Means this is the object. We can throw the object. Okay, an object will have those exceptions. Means object contain those exceptions messages. Okay, when the exceptions event occur in the Java, the exception is said to be thrown. The code that will responsible for doing this something about the exception is called exceptional handler. Whoever doing or throwing that exception, that is handled by the exception handler. So this exceptions is thrown, or when we write the try and catch block, from that try catch block also we passes the object of exception, and that can be handled here. That these all things are done, or they are taking care by the exceptional handler. So exceptional handler is responsible for doing all these things. Okay, so how to handle this exception? Till this, we are not handling any exception. That is why when at line number 8 we face any exception, the program is not proceeding with the line number 10th executions. Okay, because we have not handled these exceptions. Okay, to handle this exception we have try catch block. Okay, so what is try catch and finally through and through? These are nothing but with the help of this we can handle the exception. So Java exceptions object are there. Okay, which describe the exceptions. Means I will see how to declare those object, or how to pass that class to inside the catch, and how this exception handler will find out the error message or handle those exceptions. We'll see. So try is a keyword. Again, these all are the keywords in the Java. Try means which is used to enclose the suspected code. Means your logic should be present in the inside the try block. Catch means it acts as an exception handler. Means whatever the exceptions occur, that will catch inside your catch block. Finally means this finally block, it is not necessary, but if you write, it is always be executed after your catch. Okay, so if you write try catch, it is fine. But if you want to write try catch and finally, you can write try catch and finally. But after exceptions occur at a catch level, so inside the after the catch execution, finally block will execute. Throw means it throws the exception explicitly. You want to throw any man-made declared exceptions, or if you want to declare any exceptions, or you write any code or the message you want to throw after this particular event occur, that time you will go with an throw. Throws means it inform for this possible exceptions. Okay, so throw and throws we'll see. So the next is type of exceptions. So again the type of exceptions are there: checked exception, unchecked exceptions, and the error. So check exception. Firstly, it is the throwable class. The main class is throwable class, which is a super class of this exception class. So from this throwable class, I have this exception as a base class, and again exception will be the exception, okay, which is automatically defined exception, handle exception, or the throwable class have the error, that is stack overflow error, stack overflow. These are the errors. We can't do anything with the errors. We can't handle. They cannot be handled. Means index out of bound. These are the errors. These are not exceptions. So you can't handle those errors. Okay, that time your program will crash anyway. So that is not the case. What is check exceptions? So check exceptions means these are defined by the JVM at in compile time. Means what? If you are writing any code regarding a file, means opening file, writing on that file, save and then close. These are your operation. You want to do anything on your file. Okay, but if file is not open or it is not present at your C drive, whatever you are calling from your program, then that are the check exception. Then SQL exception. These are the this happened during the compile time, or during this is checked during the compile time. Means whenever you are doing the programs, or that time only you will get to know this line is giving the error, that is check exceptions. Uncheck exceptions, these are the class that extend the runtime exception class. So this is the throwable class. This is extending this exception class extend this throwable class and have the runtime exceptions. So at a compile time, this exception might get ignored at the compile time, but during the runtime these exceptions will occur, like array index out of bound exceptions, arithmetic exception, which we have seen already. Means when we are writing the code, compiler is not giving any error at line number 8, but when we executed that code, that time we got the exceptions. Okay, that is nothing but your unchecked exceptions. Means during the compile time it is ignored, but during the runtime the exceptions come. So null pointer exception is one famous exceptions always come when you are not assigning anything to any variable or object, and you are accessing that object, then the null pointer exceptions come. Okay, then the error is in third part. So error are typically ignored in the code because you can rarely do anything about the error. Means if stack overflow occur, this type of error cannot be handled in the code. So error you can't handle inside the code. So that is nothing but the error. So check exceptions, uncheck exceptions, error. The exceptions means, I hope you understand, this handle the uninterrupted or abnormally termination of program. So these things are handled by the Java with the help of exceptional handling. So exception handling is done with the help of, or it this all this exception handling take care with the help of exceptional handler. So how to handle exceptions? With the try, catch, finally, throw, and throws. Okay, these are the words we will see how to achieve. types of exceptions, check exceptions, uncheck exceptions, and the error. These are the types of exceptions. Then class hierarchy is nothing but exception class is there. So this is the exception class for exceptional condition that program should catch. Okay, whatever the exceptions condition happen inside the program, that can be catched inside this exceptional class. So this class is extended to create a specific user specific exceptions. Okay, then the runtime exception means it is a subclass of your exception class. Okay, so exception under this class is automatically defined for a programs. Okay, it is automatically defined. Then exceptions of type error. So these are used by the Java runtime system JRE. We have already seen to indicate the errors having to do with the runtime environment. So example is Stack Overflow is such one example of this error. Okay. The next is try and catch. How will do. Okay, so try and catch, these are the keywords. Okay, which with the help of this keyword we can do the we can handle the exceptions, and we these are the use for the exceptional handling. The try block is used to enclose the suspected code, and the catch is used for catching the raise exceptions. Okay, during the execution. Okay, so this catch block is also called as an this is also called as a handler, which handle your exceptions. Okay, it handle the exception which is thrown by your programs. Okay, so whatever the exception is thrown by this lines of codes 678, they can be handled inside your catch block. Okay, so this is catch block is also called as an handler. Try block must be provided must always. Try is always come with a catch. If you write the code with the only try, you will get the error. But with finally is like it is optional. If you want to write a finally block, you can. You if you don't want to write, you can't. Means it depends on you. But with try and catch always come together. We'll see how this program work after my hand after if I execute the try and catch block in with this code. Okay, so this is my try block where I have added all my execution. Means the main logic is present inside my try block. Okay, so what I do inside my catch block. Okay, inside my catch block I will declared the arithmetic exception. This is arithmetic exception. This is arithmetic exception class. Okay, and I declared one object of that class with E. Okay, and will print exception. What will do? Will print exception. Okay. Okay, when I will execute this, we'll see what happened. Okay, so see, my exception is handled by this catch block, but the at the end at line check the line number 16, others code will executed as it is. So exception handling message is printed like this only. Okay, we'll see one more time. This catch block handle my exceptions, and after that whatever the program is I have written, that all executed at the same. Okay, so in the first case when we have not written any try catch block, that time what happened, directly my program come out of this whole class, okay, after the exceptions occurred. But at this time, what happened, this exception is handled inside this catch block, and then out this line will also get executed. So that is why it is always necessary, when you are writing any code inside the Java, try catch or handling this exceptions is most important thing. So this is all about the try catch symbol. Okay, so I hope catch is clear to you. Finally is always executed, okay, after though the exceptions occur or not, after your code, it is executed. Okay, we'll check. See, finally block always executed. If it is nothing is there, no, means the error is not present at the line number 11, then there is no way to go inside the catch. Okay, we'll see that also. Here at line number 11, exception occur, then the catch block will that catch is executed. That is why we get the console output as a inside the catch block, and then we have printed the exception. That is why it is giving this exceptions. If we comment it out and will execute, the normal execution will display. See, inside the catch block, because of the exceptions occur, it goes inside the catch block, then finally block, and then whatever the remaining program is present, it is executed. Okay, if any issues is not present, means considered as a 2, this is an 8. So we'll see what happened. Means 8 divided by 2 means answer is 4, right? So we'll check what happened. So see, finally block is executed, and no error or nothing, no exceptions is find out at line number 11, because 8 divided by 2, you will get the 4. So no exceptions is there. That is why the catch is not called, and finally the finally block is called, which is giving finally block, and then the next output. So I hope this is clear to you, what is try and catch block, and how to handle what is try, catch, and finally. These are the three keyword or use in the exception handling mechanism. Okay. So you can write a multiple catch block statement also. So it's depend on you how to write. So multiple catch block is also possible. Okay. Finally, but always catch is always within try block. So it multiple catch block means what? We can have any number of catch block after a single try block. Okay, means one try, then catch again catch. You can write any number of catch block, that is multiple catch block is possible. If the exception occurred in the try block, the exceptions is passed to the first catch block. Okay, that time means what happened during the multiple catch block. If exception occur first inside that try, first goes to the catch block, first catch block. Okay, and if the exceptions type is matches with your first catch block, then it get caught there. If it is not, then it is passed, that exception is passed to the next catch block. So like the nested if else conditions are there, the same way your exceptions will passes from one catch to another catch. That is the multiple catch block conditions. So important points about this things like about this try and catch is like, if you do not explicitly use the try catch block in your program, Java will provide the default exception handler, which will print the exception details on the terminal. We have seen, we have not explicitly written try and catch. Okay, that time what happened? Directly the JVM automatically throw the error, that is the arithmetic exception. We already seen, but if you want, like, I will show you. So when I executed, see, this is main Java console error. So this is, one second, I have closed. Okay, try. See, zero. No? It is giving arithmetic exception by 0. So it is automatically handled. If you don't explicitly use the try catch block in your program, Java will provide the default exception handler, which will print the exception details on the terminal. Okay, check here. Exception details are present. Right? Here, the arithmetic exception. So these are the inbuilt functionalities present. So Java handle have the, that is automatically exception handling. Then superclass we have seen. This is probabilism superclass. Okay, and have the exceptions and error. These are the two subclasses where this runtime exceptions extend the their superclass. Means for the runtime exceptions, this throwable is super of superclass. Okay, then the superclass throwable class overrides toString method. We already discussed the toString method. What is toString? To display anything on the console, the toString function is there, which we override. So throwable class override the toString method, and that is why the error message is display in the form of string. So this method is display with the help of toString, which override by the throwable class. Okay, that is the case they have explained in the second point. Okay, then the third is, while using a multiple catch block, always make sure that subclass of exceptions class comes before any their superclass. Means, for example, else you will get compile time. If you are using multiple catch block, if I do control Z. Okay, during this multiple catch statement, okay, this multiple catch statement, always the first will be your parent exception class, then the base exception. Check that those things, that is they are saying in a line inside the line number 3. Okay, while using multiple catch block, always make sure that subclass of exception class comes before any their superclass. Always comes within subclasses and then parent class. Okay, else you will get the compile time. In the nested try catch, the inner try block uses its own catch block as well as the catch block of the outer try. Means inside we can do the nested try block. Means inside this try we can write one more try and catch block, but when we write any try block inside this try, we must write the catch block because tries always come within catch. So this upper wala try block can use uh, this nested catch block as well as the outer wala catch block. Okay, that is explained here. In the nested try block, try catch, the inner try block uses its own catch as well as it uses outer try catch also if required. Okay, only the object of throwable classes or its subclasses can be thrown. Then Java have the throw, throws, and finally. These are the keywords. So these are also the keyword which is used to throw the exception. So throws is used to declare the list of possible exception. Throws with s जो है that are used for throwing the list of the exceptions. Okay, मतलब बहुत सारे exceptions throw कर रहा है आपका method, that time go with and throws. Okay, throw is used for the throwing the exception. So एक ही exception है go with and throw. Okay, whereas finally block हमने perform करके भी देखा. Finally block always get executed though exceptions have occurred or it is not occurred in your program, and it is optional. If you want to write you can write, if you don't want to write don't write. But finally block, most of the time it is right in the program, because it used to close all unwanted objects. Okay, or the file pointer is present or it is open file is present when you are writing any code and you have opened the file, and somewhere you use that files object and you forget to close or the open close that file object. That time finally block will close that. Okay, if you write or you want at any time, means at any line your program crash, after that only you want one output will print on the screen, so that you can write inside the finally block, because finally block is always get executed. Okay, so a finally block is used to execute essential code. Okay, especially to release the occupied resources, means the resources are occupied when you have in an above lines of codes. At the end final you write a finally, those occupied resources are releases. So finally, I hope you cleared with the throw, throws, and finally keyword. Okay, so this throw is used explicitly. Okay, these things are not doing Java for us. These things are we are writing in our program to make our program as an perfect programs. Okay, while execution. Okay, in the real world life. So only the object of throwable class or subclass can be thrown. Here, with the help of this throw and throws, we only throw the object of the throwable class. Okay, means only we can throw the object of this throwable class with the help of this throw word. Okay, and we close the inside the catch statement. We'll see one example of this throw. How can we achieve? How can we throw error? Okay, so one class I've create within consider as a test throw, fine, and I want a main method. Okay, what I will do, this is my test throw, this is my class test throw. Okay, I will need one method, so we'll do create a one method as a static method. Okay, I don't need any object, I just need to call one method. So I will do one method, average method. Okay, okay. Inside this method, what I can do, I write the try. Okay, with always when you write a try, just make a habit to write a catch. And if you not write the catch, no, one second, we'll show you. This is giving me error, that syntax error, insert finally to complete a block statement. Okay, either write a finally or the catch. Okay, so catch. Now inside the try I will do one thing, I will create the object of throw. What we discussed, it always throw only the throwable class object. Okay, so I create the object of throwable, throw, with the new. Okay, new and arithmetic exceptions object. I will throw arithmetic exceptions object. Okay. Consider this exceptions as an exception 1. Consider this as an exception 1. We'll save this. Okay, and inside the cache, I I will create the object of arithmetic exception. So arithmetic exception object is created here, and will print out stream dot out dot println exception code. Okay, exception. Okay, now this is the static method. We already know for the static method we don't require any object creation of your class. Directly call that method with the class name or directly called average. Okay, see, no error is giving me. If you created the method without the static, and if you called it, see, if you created the method like this, definitely this average will give you the error, because it is not static method. Either make it static or make create the object. Okay, I hope this is static wala funda is clear to you. Okay, what happened when I execute this code, we'll check. Okay, exception code. So we are throwing a exception explicitly, user made exception. So we are throwing the exception explicitly. We are throwing this exception 1, and we are passing the object to the catch block. So inside the catch, this exception, whatever we are throwing the exception at line number 8, they are these exceptions are caught here inside the catch block, and then catch is executed. Fine. So this is the way we can throw the exceptions with the throws keywords. This is with the throw, the first word throw. With the throws keyword is used to declare the list of expression, that is to the but we can declare add method definitions. Okay, means here only with the throws you can write multiple exceptions name. Okay, any method that is capable of causing exception must be list of those exception during this execution. So anyone have they call those methods having the prior knowledge about the exceptions, then these exceptions can be handled. So here when you write any method, after that you can write a multiple exceptions with the keyword like throws. With this throws, in front of throws you can write arithmetic exception, you can write the index bound exceptions, or anything you want. Okay, so these are the things. So difference between throw and throws is very throws is at the method level definition. You write the code at the method level definition. Throws a single exception you throw. With the throws you can give the list of exceptions. Okay, a y whatever it may be. So multiple exceptions, and finally block always executed whatever may be the conditions. Okay, and it removed those unusable resources. Okay, or it will free those resources also. So finally we already discussed, we did the coding of finally exceptions here, how the finally blocked word. Okay, I hope throw and throws is clear to you. Okay, and the difference
It is
between
a bit
throw and
shaky,
throws.
ma'am.
Sorry.
थोड़ा मुश्किल है but understandable.
नहीं, मुझे नहीं समझा। क्या नहीं समझा आपको? अच्छा, it bit difficult might be you are facing it bit difficult right now.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
हाँ, but when you read it na again and again, you will clear what happened actually. But always, it is always a best practice to do the your programming inside the try and catch block. When you do your BE program in any language, always go within try catch or whatever the mechanism is there inside the other languages. So handling exceptions, runtime exceptions or manual exceptions is most important, and because of this only now you will, means right now it is only 10 or 20 lines of code, but you go into inside the IT or in a software development, there are multiple lines of code are present. So you don't know, means how you can find out कि कौन सा line में क्या error throw कर रहा है. That time this exception handling will help you, because sometimes we give the line number also कि ये line number, for example PL SQL में plog देते हैं. Plog क्या होता है, तो plog जब आप पैकेज और proc लिखते हो SQL में, तो plog एरर करके या ORARES एरर करके एक फंक्शन रहता है. वहां पे आपने लाइन नंबर दिया तो ऑटोमेटिकली जब भी बड़ा प्रॉक या बड़ा कोई भी कोड फेल होता है, तो वो एग्जैक्टली लाइन नंबर बताता है आपको कि यहाँ पे वो फट रहा है. सो इट बिकम्स इजी फॉर डेवलपर टू फाइंड आउट कि वेर इट इज नॉट एग्जीक्यूटिंग और इट इज गिविंग मी एरर. तो वो जो टाइम रहता है डेवलपर के पास, इतने टाइम में ये बग फिक्स करके देना है, वो जल्दी होता है. तो लॉगिंग दिस इज कॉल्ड लॉगिंग ओनली. सो लॉगिंग इज नथिंग बट लॉग करना, आपका कोई भी एरर लॉग करना. सो फॉर दैट log4j इज यूज. जावा में log4j यूज करते हैं. एक जार रहता है, वो विद द हेल्प ऑफ दैट जार हम प्रिंट स्टैक ट्रेस ऐसे जो भी मेथड है वो यूज करके वो पूरा एरर का स्टैक ट्रेस डिस्प्ले करते हैं. सो ऑलवेज अपना जो कोड है वो प्रॉपर होना चाहिए. मतलब नल पॉइंटर एक्सेप्शन भी उसने थ्रो किया ना, तो वो आना चाहिए हमारे कैच ब्लॉक में कि यहाँ से नल पॉइंटर एक्सेप्शन थ्रो हो रहा है. तो जब भी हम डिबग करेंगे तो हम लोगों को विद इन 2 to 3 सेकेंड समझ में आ जाएगा कि यहाँ पे आई एम पासिंग समथिंग, बट उसको वैल्यू असाइन नहीं हो रहा है. वो एक मेथड में जाके वो वेरिएबल नल जा रहा है, तो उसमें वो एग्जीक्यूट ही नहीं कर पा रहा है मेरा लॉजिक. सो दैट इज व्हाई द एक्सेप्शन हैंडलिंग इज द क्रिटिकल, थोड़ा क्रिटिकल है समझने में, बट इट इज मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट टॉपिक in Java. Mostly interview at fresher level, they will ask what is finally, what is throws, what is the meaning of these things. Try with the try catch is important, or with the try I can write a finally. Yes, you can write. So catch is not important, but with the try something is important, catch or a finally. In मतलब दोनों में से कोई तो एक important है. So these are the things might be they will ask in the interview. With how the throws wala syntax works. So throw is always throw a single exception. Okay, throws come with a method signature. Multiple with a method signature, you can write a multiple exceptions. Okay, you can handle multiple exceptions at method definition level. So that is all about the throws. Two types of exceptions are there: check exception, uncheck exception. What is the super class of this throw? The throwable is the super class of this throw method. Then man-made exceptions means what? Means Java provide, अभी तो हम लोगों ने all built-in exceptions देखे, input output exceptions, arithmetic exception, null pointer. These are the inbuilt functionalities are present in the ये package में java.lang. This is inbuilt package. Okay, like अपना scanner class is present in Java util package. Similar way, these are the arithmetic exceptions class. These are present. These are the classes only. Okay. इफ यू चेक तो आपको मिल जाएगा ये पैकेज में ये सारे क्लासेस प्रेजेंट है. अरिथमेटिक, इनपुट आउटपुट, नल पॉइंटर, दीज आर द क्लासेस प्रेजेंट इन योर java.lang.package. So these are already set to trigger on predefined conditions. Okay, these are the your JVM or your compiler, your runtime handler. So that is all handled by your exceptional handler. So apart from these classes, Java allow us to create own exceptions. So in big companies they have their own exceptions. Like for example, एक कुछ फटा है तो वो they have their own code language for, या वो टेबल में वो मेंटेन करते हैं कि अगर फॉर एग्जाम्पल 1 2 3 ये कोड के लिए कुछ फटा है तो उसका ये डिस्क्रिप्शन है फॉर दिस, ये चीज फटा है. So big companies handle their own exceptions, or they implement their own exceptions also. These type of exceptions are user defined exceptions or customs exceptions. So you can also create this user defined exceptions, writing just these, like the way arithmetic exception class written na, same way you write your own exception class, like the custom exception class. But what you can do, just extend that exception class, because these are present in the exception class. So you are writing your own class, means your class come here. Okay, beside this runtime exceptions, just extend that exception class. Whatever the methods are present in the exception class, you can use it in your own man-made exception class. Okay, so that is custom exception. Again, to display anything right now, for displaying anything, we are not doing like here, we are not doing anything, like we are not printing system out dot, though we are not printing, we'll check. Here I am not printing anything. Okay, but it is giving me error, that is arithmetic exceptions error. Wait, 1 second. It is not running exception. Sorry. Okay, we are not writing any system out dot println after this, but still it is giving me this error on my console, because it is overriding two string method, right? So it is here. It is, I explained. So two string method is there. So two string method, you also override this two string method inside your man-made exception class, so custom class, and you can do you can handle or you can write or throw your man-made exception class also inside your program. So these are the point. So always remember कि extend that exception class when you are doing man-made exception. Extend the exception class and create your own exception class, and you don't have to implement anything inside it. So no methods are required. You can have your constructor if you want inside your man-made class and override the two string method. Okay, to display the customize whatever the message you want to display, just write that message inside your two string. Okay, so this is all about the exceptions. Exception, two type of exceptions are there in check exception, uncheck exception. One more, error is there. Check exceptions means during compile time JVM know this exceptions has occurred, means file is open or file is not present and you are accessing. Check time exception. Uncheck exceptions, these are nothing but the null pointer exception. After the execution of the program, your program logic fail, and you come out of that whole program. That time whatever the happen or the exceptions occur, that is uncheck exceptions. Okay, error we can't handle. uh, these are one of the type of exception, we can't do anything with the error. So throwable is a main superclass, and they are extending these exceptions and error. Okay, so try and catch, always go with the try and catch. So always write your code between try and catch. When you are doing a programming in the Java, then it is best practice to go with the try catch always. Then three words are there: throw, throws, and finally. Finally block always get executed. If you want any code, your resources are released inside the finally blocks, or the at the end you want whatever happened before 10 lines of code, at 11 line you want this message, that time write that message inside the final block. Throw, declare, define, or throw only single error, or the exception throws declared or define multiple exceptions. Okay, and throws are at a method level. Okay, you can declare throws at the method level. So man-made. Chained exceptions, the next concept is chained exceptions. Okay, which is not required at the fresher level but will covered. Okay, only remember this try and catch. Man-made exception also we not write means when we are doing any project, be project, or inside our curriculum these things are not there. But at when you go into the IT industry, they have their man-made exception classes. So same concept for the chain exceptions is also there. We'll see that chain exception concept. So this feature allow you to relate one exceptions with another exception. That is, one exception describe cause of another. Consider the situation here. I explain the situation that arithmetic exceptions occurred. Okay, arithmetic exceptions means divide by zero, anything because of arithmetic operations, any exception occur. That is arithmetic exception because of the attempt to divide by zero, but the actual cause of exceptions was input output error, means uh, which cause the divisor to be a zero. So the method will throw arithmetic exception to be called. So the caller would not come to know about the actual cause of exception. So chain exception is use such type of exception, means आपको डिटेल में एक्सेप्शन थ्रो करना है, देन गो विद इन चेन एक्सेप्शन. सो मल्टी कैच एक्सेप्शन जो मैंने बोला था, मल्टीपल कैच यू कैन राइट. So that is also come under this chain exceptions. So subclass में जो भी exception है, firstly throw that exceptions and then throw upper exceptions. Okay, so throwable, these are the things. So we'll stop here. I hope this Java exception wala case is clear to all of you. The next is multi-threading. We'll take 10 minutes of break and we'll come back at 3:45 and we'll do multi-threading and then collection framework. Okay, so we'll see collection and multi-threading, which is critical thing, after a 10 minutes of break. I hope it is clear. Fine. Okay. Thank you. We'll rejoin at 3:45 or max to max 3:50. Okay. Thank you. Okay, let's start with the next topic, multi-threading. So, firstly, what is multi-threading? I will explain you. Am I audible or my screen is visible? Just ping me yes or no so that I can proceed.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. ओके सो मल्टी थ्रेडिंग बेसिक कंसेप्ट मल्टी थ्रेडिंग का एक्सप्लेन कर देती हूँ. जब मैं आपको सिखा रही हूँ दैट टाइम मेरा पीपीटी ओपन है विथ साइड बाय साइड क्रोम ओपन है. मैं म्यूजिक भी प्ले कर सकती हूँ. सो दीज आर नथिंग बट द थ्रेड्स. ये एक थ्रेड है, म्यूजिक सेकेंड थ्रेड है, साइड बाय साइड मैंने क्रोम ओपन किया, थर्ड थ्रेड है. सो ये एग्जीक्यूशन तीन थ्रेड का कंटिन्यूअसली हो रहा है. सो दैट इज मल्टीटास्किंग. हम नॉर्मल वर्ड उसको लाइफ में मल्टीटास्किंग बोलते. इन जावा इन प्रोग्रामिंग इट इज कॉल्ड मल्टी थ्रेडिंग. सो मल्टी थ्रेड कंसेप्ट होता है जहां पे साइमल्टेनियसली मल्टीपल थ्रेड प्रोसेस करते हैं साइमल्टेनियसली. सो दैट क्या होता है, वो एग्जीक्यूशन फास्ट हो जाता है. ओके. थ्रेड इज नथिंग बट प्रोसेस. लाइक जैसे मेथड लिखते हैं वैसे सेम इट इज अ सिंपल लाइट वेट प्रोसेस. ओके. एंड विच with the help of that we execute our logic inside that thread. Okay. So फिर थ्रेडिंग में सिंक्रोनाइज थ्रेडिंग भी कंसेप्ट आता है. व्हाट इज सिंक्रोनाइज? एक एग्जांपल स्मॉल देती हूँ. आप अगर एटीएम में पैसे निकालने जाओगे फॉर एग्जांपल, और दो लोग सेम ही अकाउंट से पैसे निकालेंगे, ओके, एट अ सेम टाइम, और कुछ कुछ 1 मिनट का डिफरेंस के हिसाब से. तो अगर सिंक्रोनाइजेशन और वो नहीं होगा बोथ केस में, तो क्या होगा, एक जब अकाउंट में पैसे निकाल रहा होगा, उसका फॉर एग्जांपल 500 रुपीज है अकाउंट में, वो 100 निकाल रहा होगा, दैट टाइम उसका 400 होगा. साइमल्टेनियसली सेकंड वाला भी निकाल रहा होगा, तो उसको वहां पे क्या दिखेगा, अमाउंट बैलेंस 500 ही. दो पहले वाले ने 100 रुपीज निकाला है, अभी 400 दिखना चाहिए सेकंड वाले को, बट वो नहीं दिखेगा, वो 500. और निकालते टाइम भी मल्टीपल अगर निकालेंगे तो नेगेटिव में भी बैलेंस जाएगा. तो मल्टी ये जो थ्रेडिंग प्रोसेस है इसमें सिंक्रोनाइजेशन एक थिंग वो यूज करते हैं. सो सिंक में होता है जब एक आदमी वो थ्रेड पे प्रोसेस कर रहा होता है, दैट टाइम वो लॉक लग जाता है वो थ्रेड पे. अदर सिर्फ बैलेंस चेक कर सकता है, विड्रॉ नहीं कर सकता. फॉर जो भी अमाउंट ऑफ टाइम के लिए वो लॉक लगता है, ठीक है. दैट्स वाई वो सिंक में अपना सब बैलेंस रहता है इन बैंकिंग केस. सो एक एग्जांपल ये था मल्टी थ्रेडिंग. सो विल सी द व्हाट इज मल्टी थ्रेडिंग. सो मल्टी थ्रेडिंग इज द concept of running multiple threads simultaneously. This is nothing but for speed up your execution, or to do more tasks in a less amount of time. So thread is a lightweight unit, or we can say thread is nothing but a process that execute in the multi-thread environments. In Java, the word thread means the two different things. Thread means the instance of class also, or it is actual execution of thread also. So thread class भी है, thread is one class. एंड सेकेंड एग्जीक्यूशन ऑफ थ्रेड मीन्स वो थ्रेड का एक ऑब्जेक्ट एग्जीक्यूशन भी कर रहा होगा, कुछ प्रोसेस कर रहा होगा. सो टू डिफरेंट मीनिंग है थ्रेड्स के. ओके. Then a program can be divided into number of small process, and each small process is considered as a thread. Okay. And that is lightweight process. So you can think of lightweight process as your virtual CPU that execute your code as well as Chrome as well as your PPT simultaneously. So you usually do not need to concern yourself with the lightweight processes to program with the thread. So this OS system is a multi-threaded system. Okay. So multi-threaded program contain two or more threads, and that can be run concurrently, and each thread define a separate path of execution. This means the single program can perform two or more tasks. Okay. For example, one thread is writing on a file, and the same time other thread is performing the spell check. When you write a program or you do anything inside your os sorry your Microsoft Office, okay, Word file, that time whenever you are writing, the spell check is continuously going on. That is nothing but the two thread are continuously doing something, okay. That is the multi-threading. That concept come under the multi-threading. So in Java, thread with declare means it is the two cases. Thread is a thread class also. We'll see how to implement or how to create a thread with two ways are there. Implementing runnable interface we have already discussed, and extending the thread class. There is the two ways by which we can implement the thread, okay. So the instance of thread class is just the object like other object. Means creating thread class object is very simple. Like scanner class का object जैसा हमने create किया था, the same way we create the object of thread class. It is the pretty similar like the normal class object, but the thread execution means individual is a lightweight process. Means it has its own call stack. एवरी इसका एक कॉल स्टैक होता है, बट थ्रेड का इस खुद का एक अलग कॉल स्टैक होता है. वो डिक्लेयर करते हैं, खुद ही डिक्लेयर डिसाइड करते हैं कौन सा थ्रेड कब एग्जीक्यूट करना है. सो इन जावा ईच थ्रेड हैज इट्स ओन कॉल स्टैक, ओके. सो मीन्स अगर मेन मेथड होगा, फर्स्टली मेन इज कॉल, पहला अपना मेन कॉल्ड होता है, ओके. सो मेन मेथड फर्स्टली एक मेरा स्टैक होगा, ओके, करंट में. उसके बाद जो भी मैंने मेथड लिखा होगा वो नेक्स्ट कॉल स्टैक होगा, ठीक है. सो एडवांटेजेस ऑफ मल्टी थ्रेडिंग, विल सी व्हाट इज एडवांटेजेस ऑफ मल्टी थ्रेडिंग एंड व्हाई दिस कंसेप्ट केम इनटू एग्जिस्टेंस, okay. So it reduces the CPU idle time, that increase overall performance. So it multi-threading is used for the performance. Means performance is the key concept here. It is used to speed up all these things. For that, again, it is very lightweight process. Means what, less memory consumed, so that multiple things we can achieve. Perform context switching as well as help to share the memory and reduce the time of switching between the thread. Means what happens if one thread is blocked because of some resources are not getting to that thread. That time what thread will do, thread will go inside the sleep. Sleep is one function present in the thread class. So thread वो sleep में चला जाता है, and it will give chance to other threads to execute their process, okay. That is called the context switching. So switch karte hain, that is sharing of memory with each other. That is why the process the speed will get increased, as well as performance of the system will increase. So CPU idle time will get reduced because of this. Multitasking achieve hota hai. OS is all about the multi-threading. When you see anything is simultaneously or concurrently running everywhere in the technology world, that comes under the multi-threading concept. So multitasking is a process of performing multiple tasks simultaneously. We can understand it by computer system. I already discussed this example with you. So writing on the file, same time, at the same time you are playing a music, downloading the file on a browser, okay, with Safari or web browser, any from any browser. So that is nothing but your multitasking. So multi-threading, multitasking, same concept. In real life, we use we don't use this multi-threading word. We use multitasking. Okay, I'm doing multitasking. That is nothing but the your multi-threading. Okay. So लाइफ साइकिल, सो एवरी थ्रेड का एक लाइफ साइकिल होता है. हाउ दिस लाइफ साइकिल गोज, विल सी. मीन्स फर्स्ट, व्हेन यू क्रिएट अ थ्रेड विद द न्यू स्टेट्स, ओके. Before this life cycle, why this multi-threading is there? Uh, we'll see that because the thread has advantages over the process, and we already discussed the two or three advantages of multi-threadings. Okay, so to there is the issues like a CPU, when any thread consume the memory or any thread occupy the CPU for a longer time, the CPU will not respond to you. Okay, to overcome this type of process, we broke these independent sub processes. Means we divided these processes into sub processes. Okay, and these sub processes are nothing but your thread. Okay, because of this thread we achieve the efficiency, we achieve the system, we what we can say, we achieve the performance of the system. So because of this, the main, कोई भी प्रोजेक्ट भी अगर आता है, the big project that divided into sub modules, and the sub module is given to one developer, second developer, that when वन अक्खा वाला प्रोजेक्ट अगर किसी को दिया है, he or she will take at least 6 months to complete that. But when I divided that project into module and give to one person, those one person will give me that module within 1 or 2 weeks. So whole project will complete within a three, max to max consider 3 months. Inside the 3 months, in the 3 months we'll develop our project. So that is nothing but the concept comes here. Big things divided into smaller ones, that is called as a thread, which is a lightweight thread, have their own stack. So they have their own priorities also. If we are not setting the priority to thread, means we are not telling this thread, ki a thread, you execute this process at a first, you have this max priority, you can give. But if you are not giving any priorities to the thread, then the thread decide which one they will execute first and which one they will execute next. Okay, so thread created. So thread is, I'll already discussed, created with the two ways. There is a runnable interface is present and the thread class is present. You can extend the thread class or you can implement runnable interface. By these two methods you can uh, create a thread in the programs. Okay, then you will ask me, the main is a thread or not? So yes, main is one thread. The program begins, execution is always begin from the main. We already discussed these things and we already know, because I repeated many times, like this program or any Java programs start execution is of main method. Why main method? Because it is static one, or always from the main method, it does not require any object creations. Okay, so when we run any Java program, the program begin it's execute its code starting from the main method. So JVM, that time what happened, the JVM, Java virtual machine, create the starting thread. Starting thread is the main thread and it start the execution from the main thread. So the thread is called main thread. That time that thread is called as a main thread. Main thread, although the main thread is automatically created, you can control it by obtaining the reference with the create thread. Okay, so two important things of the main thread, these exceptions, multi-threading and collection, these are bit critical topics in the Java, but they are important topics. Okay, multi-threading, you will see everywhere. And right now might be you will you seen this concept in your curriculum, but you will see when you go outside your colleges, when you entered into the IT industry, you will see multi-threading is a buzzword and it is used everywhere. Okay, so main is also one of the thread, main thread. We are not creating this main thread, we can create our thread, but the main thread is automatically created. Okay, so we'll see one thing कि ऑटोमेटिकली जेवीएम कैसे ये थ्रेड को मेन थ्रेड क्रिएट करता है. ओके, करंट थ्रेड हम देखते हैं कि क्या है. व्हेन वी एग्जीक्यूट एनी कोड, करंट थ्रेड का नाम क्या है? विल चेक दैट. Okay, so JVM automatically create this thread for all of us. That is the main thread. We'll see. So this is my public static void main, where I am taking thread t equal to new thread dot current. Okay, we'll check t dot set name. हम लोग इसको main will call it as a main thread. Okay. So we'll check कि JVM create the main thread for all of us or what happened. We'll check these things. Okay. So what I did, I create the thread T and I executed thread dot current thread. Okay. So I'm getting current thread ka naam. Okay, and then I set that current thread name as a main thread, and we'll check the name of we'll check main thread name, okay, with displaying t. Fine. When I execute this, okay, main thread name is main thread 5 main. Okay, so this, if I've not set anything, check. Let's check t. Okay, so then also its name is main. Okay, its name is main, and if I set the name, then its name is main thread. That is the difference. I am setting the name of this thread, main thread, as a main thread. But if I have not set any name, then JVM create a thread for us with the name as a main. So JVM create a thread for all of us. Okay, that is a main thread. So whenever the execution start, Java execution always start with the main method, and main is one thread that have its own, what you can say, its own local stack. Okay, calling. So the life cycle of this thread means like the process and thread have means if process or method have their own life, like method declaration means method started, method you write any method, everything inside that method, and in curly braces after the calling that method get did. Okay, so same way, like a same process, like a same like a class, the same thread will have their own life cycle. So its life cycle include various phases like new, running, terminated. Okay, so what is new? When thread begin its life cycle, then it is with the new, means what, thread have one method called the start. When you define t dot start, okay, on any thread, if you are here, it is creating, you are creating one thread t, okay, and you write t dot start, means this is the new phase, okay, this is called new. Start method you are calling on the any thread object, then it is the new. Runnable means after a start it check that any like whatever the resources that thread want is present or not. If it is present and it start into that it go into that pool, then it is the runnable one, okay. So the thread becomes a runnable one if that everything is happened as per their requirement, okay. Then running means actual thread start the running, means executing their logic. Then waiting means if it is waiting for some resources to get released, because that thread want those resources to execute their processes. So for that the thread wait for sometimes, that is called as a waiting period, okay. So thread is in the waiting state if it tells to another thread to perform their task or give me or that thread is alive, means in the waiting state the thread is alive. Terminated means it is the end of that thread, means all the execution completed and the thread cannot entered into the starting state or running state or runnable state, okay. Those threads which are in the blocked state or which are in the sleep mode, which are in the waiting state, they can they are go into the runnable state. From the runnable state they come into the running state, but from the terminated position not a single thread come into the new thread or inside the running positions, okay. So once it is terminated, it is gone, okay. So this is all about the life cycle. So new is a thread which is begin cycle with the start method. Runnable means if the execution it is not started but it is ready for the execution, okay. Okay, first positions means it is new, the object is created, it is started, but after the start method it is not in the position to run the logic, but it is ready to run this to run their execution. Running state we already discussed, means actual. Waiting and termination. Waiting means it will wait but for the another thread to complete their task or wait to complete to perform the task, because another thread is blocking the resources to after the thread execution it will take those resources and complete their execution. So from waiting state it goes to the runnable, either runnable or then running state, okay. Then terminated means end of your thread. So creating thread, the two ways are there. Extending thread class as already seen, and the second is implementing runnable interface. So by this way by these two ways we can create a thread, okay. So thread class, main class we have already discussed. So thread class is a main class of Java multi-threading. So thread is a class which is a main class in this multi-threading. This thread class T with a capital letter is a main class in the Java multi-threading environment, okay. So, utilizing multi-threading features in the Java, with the help of this multi-threading, multitasking features, we can add into our programming. We can support multiple method, we can write a multiple method with the help of this multi-threading. Multi-threading thread class have the priorities, like we can add priorities to this tables like max priority. These are the max priority are there, mean priorities are there. So if you are explicitly given your priority, mean priority, and non-priority. So explicitly, if you are assigning any priority to your thread, then the thread will execute based on those priority. Max priority thread will execute first, then mean priority, and then then second normal, and then mean. If you are not giving any priority to the thread, then they it execute depends on their, means it is not in our hand. JVM will decide which thread will execute first or not. Okay, so these are things depend. So what is max and mean and normal priority? Okay, so these are, I guess, max priority 10 something, normal is 5, and mean is 1. So these are the, I guess these are the configurations are there. Max 10, normal is 5 something, mean is 1. Okay, so again, thread, we can construct, create a constructor of the thread class. We know what is constructor, the same name as your class name, right? So constructor is of two types, which is we already discussed, like a default constructor, parameterized constructor. So default constructor, this is default constructor. Parameterized constructor, if you want a string to be passed. Okay, so this is parameterized constructor. Then you have this is also called as a method overloading. This is not method, constructor overloading. So constructor overloading is possible. So this is a constructor overloading. Okay, the like with the thread, then this is like constructor. These are called as a constructor. Okay, these are the max and mean priority you can assign. Max, mean, priority. And half, there are thread class methods are there, like firstly we seen the set name. Okay, start is one of the methods. Set name, the way same methods or con से methods है. So the get name is one of the method which we can take. Means before setting the name, we can write thread t dot get name will get the name of the thread which system assigning or JVM is assigning. So get name is there. So get name, set name. Okay, get name, set name. Then also get priority, set priority. If you are not assigning any priority, you can get the priority of the thread. Okay, so get priority is one of the method. Okay, get priority. Then is alive is one of the method, is present in the thread class. Is alive means wo thread present in or not. Check is the thread is still running or not. Okay, that is thread. Then run means whenever your thread is, whenever you create a thread, okay, with extending thread class, or this is the normal, we created the main class thread. That's why we have not extended anything or implemented anything, because main is one thread which is JVM created. That is why directly we did this thread dot current class. But we can't do this when we are writing our own thread class. That time we have to explicitly create the object of thread class by extending thread class or implementing runnable interface. That time start method is there to start the execution, and then the next is to run. Means that we have seen the life cycle. To execute, to go into the runnable state, we need a run method. So we do with object dot run method. So run method, that is entry point for the thread. Sleep method means if you want, your thread will sleep for the 50 millisecond or something in the millisecond. This method, if you check, it is present in the milliseconds. Okay, so the thread will suspend its task for the specific time, whichever you specified for what for that time. Okay, मीन्स अगर आपने देखा तो कौन सा साइट फॉर 15 to 20 minutes वो ओपन रहता है, आफ्टर दैट सेशन क्लोज होता है. सेशन क्लोज मीन्स वहां से वो थ्रेड एग्जीक्यूशन उसका खत्म होता है. ओके, दैट इज द स्लीपिंग टाइम. then active count get, then वो thread का get id, also you can do the get id of that thread, get thread group interrupt. So yield is one of the method which used. Yield is nothing but the hint to the scheduler that current thread is willing to yield its current use of processor. Okay, set priority already discussed. So these are the methods which mainly we use during the programming, multi-threading programming. Get name, set priority, is alive, run, sleep, yield. These are the method. So some points we should remember when we extend a thread class. How to extending thread class is nothing but our inheritance concept. I hope you remember. Okay, so when we extend any when we extend our class, thread class, okay, when we extend our thread class, okay, that is nothing but we are doing inheritance. Okay, so when we extend the thread class, we cannot override the set name and get name function because they are declared final. So I already discussed, whenever the methods those are final in the main class, we can't override it. Okay, that's why main method also we can't override. So those are methods, these are the get names, these get names and these set names, these are the final methods. So always remember the get name and set name. If you want in your program, then do implements the runnable interface. Okay, with the help of those you can get and write get and set method, but when you are extending you can't do these methods. Get name and set name, these are the final methods, means their method the method definition is there na here. It is not a static for get name and set name, it is final. Okay, that is why those method which are final one, they can't be override. And while using sleep, they always handle the exception throws. We already discussed. When you write a method static void sleep, that time you have to give the throws wala. Okay, throws, that is interrupted exceptions, whatever the exceptions you are throwing. Okay, so that is the case when you are extending thread class. Keep into mind that you cannot override. You can overload, but you cannot override the get name and set name method. Okay, and the next thing is, second point is, while using sleep method, just throws that error exceptions. Okay, throws that exception. How to implement runnable interface? Simple, there is a public interface, runnable is there, and to implement that, they have runnable interface have run method. Okay, runnable interface have only run method. So that is the thing. Life cycle: new, runnable, running, and terminated. When you create a thread with the object, it is come into new. Before start, it is a runnable, which is available for the running, but it is not inside the running state. And then running, when you do the object dot run method, when you call that t dot run, then that thread come under this state. Okay, running state. Okay, so we'll already discussed a thread like this. By this is the one way we can create the thread creation. Also we can do with if there is a class, with any class, consider this main thread class. The second way I'm telling you, The second way creating the thread is with implementing runnable interface. So how to do that? So just extend के अलावा use implements. So just do implements here. Implement. So thread name implements your runnable. So we are implementing runnable. Okay. So runnable is an interface. We are implementing that runnable interface. But runnable interface direct have only run method, but we have to create a thread class also. Okay. So if you are implementing runnable interface, then you need explicitly we create a thread class. Okay. So when you are doing first thing now, that time you have to create the object of thread class with the with this like the name of this, it is main thread, no? So copy that main thread, main thread, and object creation, which is we know similar new main main thread. Okay, and do the executions on this m dot. Okay, this is the object creation of your main class. Okay, this we implementing empty, but this runnable have to implement your thread class also, because runnable interface, then you if you are implementing the runnable interface in your class, then you need explicitly create a thread class object. When you are extending the thread class, you does not need. Okay, but when you are doing those things, then on this empty is passed to the thread. Okay, thread object means what? You are creating the thread class object t, and you are passing this this runnable wala object to main thread class. This is extra step is there inside this runnable. When you are implementing, create the object of that class and then pass that to the thread class. Okay, that is important. Okay, keep that those things keep into mind, that then you need to explicitly create a thread object and need to pass that runnable interface implementation to that thread class object. Okay, as in construct we are passing this inside the thread constructor argument. Okay, and then we can do run and start. So on t we can do t dot start. This is method which is already there, and t dot, these are the method which are present on the stack on the thread class. So get name, get priority, get state, uncaught exceptions, interrupt is one the method. What is this? You will get the descriptions here. Interrupted this thread unless the current thread is interrupting itself, which is always a permitted. So all this is alive, already discussed, key thread is present or not, running or not. Then is daemon thread, वो भी check कर लेता है. So the join millisecond, notify all, these are the notify all means execution खत्म हो रहा है, तो other threads those are in the sleeping mode or they are in the waiting mode. वो थ्रेड बाकी थ्रेड को नोटिफाई कर देता है कि माय एग्जीक्यूशन इज ओवर, यू कैन टेक ओवर इट. सो दैट इज notify all. These are also the what we can say methods of the thread. So the two ways to create a method, first is with extending thread class and directly creating the thread, and directly implementing the thread method. Okay, the next is implementing runnable interface, but during the implementing runnable interface, one additional step is required, that is pass the main create a main thread object. Okay, so and pass this implementing runnable thread object inside that thread. So we did the main thread, created the object of this main thread, and we passes to the thread class. This is the main thread class. Okay, again one more question is like, can we start the thread twice? Means if here I am starting the t dot start, can I start the thread twice? So no, we can't start the thread twice. If you those things, like it will throw illegal thread state exception. This is the error it will print. Okay, again the thread will have their thread pool concept, we have seen string pool concept, like same the way thread have their thread pool concept. So reusing the thread which is we created previously, same the string wala concept, already the string is present on a stack, it is check on inside the pool it is present or not. If it is present, then just pointing to same heap memory locations, okay, to new created object. And if it is not present inside that pool, then create a new. In the same way, it the same way in Java it is using for the this thread pool is using the thread which we are creating previously for executing the current task. It also provide the solution if that problem occur in the thread cycle, okay. So thread group is also there to select and assign the job after completion of the job or send back into the group. So these are the fixed thread, cache thread pool, these are also there. When we consider the banking domain, that time, or the logging, that time a singleton factory pattern, that is nothing but a single object creation is used, okay. That is why only one user will at a time do the transaction, so singleton is there. So this is the thread concept. For multitasking, we create a thread, and how to create a thread. We discuss the two ways to create a thread, with extending thread class and implementing Runnable. Then the life cycle of the thread class, and what we have to take into consideration while creating the thread class while implementing Runnable. One point remember, that is thread class object is necessary, and pass that implementing the main class method to the thread class, okay, inside that constructor. This is nothing but your constructor, thread class constructor. And during the extend thread, this get name and set name cannot be override, because these two methods are finite. And when you are doing the slip or executing slip method on a thread, then through with the throws you can give the exceptions, okay. That is important, okay. So these things keep in the mind while doing the multi-threading, or doing the programming inside the multi-threading. And also this all thread have their own current stack or own local stack, okay. So this is all about the thread. The next is collection. I will give brief idea about the collection, and the remaining part we'll see in the next session. What is collection? So I guess collection and JDBC, how to connect to. They do the development. I will cover that part with the help of SVN. Okay. And Git. So we'll cover Git and SVN today. Tomorrow. Firstly, we'll see just brief introduction of collections. What is collections, and why they are used. Collections, matlab is data structure types. All these things are group. When group of object are there and you are manipulating things on the group of object, then the collections part is come. Collection is a Java framework which represent hierarchy of set of interfaces, okay. So group of object means we have seen array, but array is a homogeneous which store only if you are declaring the integer type of array, it only store the integer values. But collection is not that homogeneous, it can store anything. Okay, so collection framework was added to the Java in 1.2 version. I already discussed, as a version get increases, updates, the things are updating. Okay, additional things are get adding. Like in the previous, in the interface, they have only abstract and final method, with no right now, after the 8 they have like a default method as well as static method. So these are the things are added. So collections was added into the Java after the 1.2 version, or prior to the 2 version they have like directory or vector stack classes. Okay, so Java collection framework is contained in the util package. Like we have seen, scanner class is present in the util package. Similar way, collection is also present in the Java util package. Okay, exception through that is Java lang package is present. Okay, it provides the many important classes interfaces to collect and organize group of objects. So what is collections, why it is needed? Okay, so collection in the Java can be referred as an object that collect multiple element into a single unit. So that is nothing but your collection. Your Java your list, your array list, your stack, heap, map, these are nothing but your collection. So multiple element into single unit, it is used to store, fetch and manipulate the data. For example, list is used to collect the element, and as well as they are referred as a list object. Okay, okay. So collections, list is used as in collection referred by the list object. So list, array list, then linked list. These are the nothing but your collections. We can achieve everything on these collections. So Java collection framework. So component of collection framework. So collection interfaces such as set, list, and maps. These are the key concept. These when you go with a product-based company, the so data structure is an important part. Why? Because they have vast number of data is present, and to search anything small, you always the programmer always need to think which data set or data collection I should use, so that the output will come into this milliseconds or these things. So collection framework is an important topic. Like DSA, it is correct with your data structure. Okay, so what is component collection? So collection interface such as set, list, and maps. So interfaces are present inside this collection. So these are the interfaces. Again, interfaces means what? Khali pili only definitions are present inside this. And when you implement those interface inside your class, then you can specify कि आपको क्या लॉजिक चाहिए. ओके, इंटरफेस में खाली पीली मेथड डेफिनेशन प्रेजेंट होगा. सो सेट, लिस्ट एंड मैप, these are the interfaces. These are used to collect different type of objects. Then collection classes. With the help of these sets, we can implement the collection classes. Like array list is one of the class which implement, definitely नाम से ही पता चलता है ये implement कौन सा interface करता होगा, list, right? So it is implementing the list. हैश सेट क्या करता होता है? इम्प्लीमेंटिंग सेट इंटरफेस. हैश हैश मैप होगा, टेबल स्पेस, टेबल सेट होगा, टेबल. So those are hash map implementing map. So like this. So they have their interfaces, they have their classes. So these are the component of this collection framework. Concurrent implementation classes that are designed for the highly concurrent use. I already discussed कि अगर Amazon ने तो अगर हम लोग सर्च करते तो सर्च कितने मिनट ऑफ सेकंड्स में आता है. जो भी चीजें इम्प्लीमेंटेशन होती है वो डिपेंड अपॉन दिस थिंग्स. ये चीज मतलब जो भी मेन लॉजिक है वो डीएस है, डेटा स्ट्रक्चर. ओके, so concurrent implementation of classes that are designed for a highly concurrent use. The algorithm that provides static method to perform useful functions on the collection such as sorting list. Again see, sorting of list, in कितने टाइम में वो लिस्ट सॉर्ट करता है. सो sorting of list, this sorting of list, arranging the list, duplicate. If you don't want to duplicate, then which class I should use. So these are the things are considering. Okay, these are the components in the collection framework. Okay, then next is advantages of collection framework. Like we have seen the advantages of multi-threading, exceptions handling. The same way collections have their own advantages. It reduces the programming efforts by providing built-in set of data structure and algorithm. Okay, then second is increased performance by providing high performance implementation of data structure and algorithm. Means you are providing directly. Okay, then provide interoperability between the unrelated APIs by establishing a common language to pass a collection back and forth. Then fourth, increase productivity. Definitely it increase productivity, reduce the operational time, because this collection framework, if you open and check inside that, all the basic logic is present. So this collection framework have all basic logic. Okay, so you need only topping. Okay, you don't need all the the basic data structure knowledge for that. Okay, then the reduce operational timing, that is why productivity increases. Just implement those things in your class and you will get everything. Okay, the base you will get, just do the topping. Then versatility to work within current collection as well. Okay, so this is the hierarchy of the Java collection. So firstly I told you collection is the interface. It have the set, list, queue. These are the present inside your collection interface. Okay, so this dotted line are nothing but implementing. Okay, and this dark one they are extending. Okay, extend means, yeah, this is parent class, this is subclass, they are extending with the keyword extend. When you are implementing these things, the interfaces, then you are write the word implement. So that is nothing but dotted line. So has set, implement your set interface. Has set is your class. Link has set, implement your set. With the name it is pretty clear which class implementing what interface. Tree set, implement have the both. Tree set can implement your sorted set as well as set. Okay, then the list having array list, array list class implement your list interface. Okay, vector class implement your list interface. And these are the interfaces are extending your collection interface. Okay, backendly. So these are list, they are extending the collection interface. All this sort method, add method, these all present inside this only. Then queue, link list and priority queues, these are implementing your queue interface, and this queue interface extending your collection. So these are the part of your collections framework. So these are the classes, these are the interfaces. Okay, and this array we have already did. Array object means object is a main class. Array is a type of your object. Okay, so collection is again extending from object class is the main class, and a collection, this is collections with the s. Okay, so collection class is a type of your object class. Collection not s is present, this is interface. So same name. So might be you face confusion. So always remember, this is again one interview question. Collection is an interface, collections is a object. it is a class, or it is the type of your superclass object class. Okay, then there is one more interface, is a map interface, which is separated one, which is not under this collection. It is separated one. So it have hash table, which hash table class implement your map. Similarly, your hash map implemented your map is nothing but I will discuss what is map, set, list, but map is key value pair is present inside the map. Okay, means for a one Monday is present, so that is nothing but one is your key, and for that key value is your Monday. So that when that type of or JSON data type is also map, like a map, means key value present होता है JSON में. When you say the list, that time list is nothing but it extend the collection to handle the sequence of list of object. Okay, then the set is to handle the set which contain unique element. Means what is difference between set and list? Set contains unique element. Okay, they do not contain duplicate. If you try to put one inside the set and display the set at the end of program, you will see only output as a only one. But inside the list you can add duplicate elements. So main difference between list and set is set have unique element, list have duplicate one. Okay, then the queue, which handles special kind of list in which elements are removed only from the head. So queue is there. And then sorted set is one of the API in the collection, which these are nothing but extend a set. Sorted set means it extend the set and handle the sorted data. Okay, so collection having it, collections have the method like add. Collections will have their methods. We'll see here. We'll see the demo in the next lecture, but I will explain what method have. Add method. Okay, then add all. These are the method. Means you are creating one collection type, means array, list, or a set. You are creating, and then you are adding the element. Okay, then you can check the size. So size is one method is there. Clear is one method there. Okay, so clear remove the total number of element from the correction. When you implement clear method on the object, then it will clear everything from that array list or anything whatever you are creating. Size will give you the size. Okay, contain and contain all, these are the elements. Search means if you are searching any particular element, then contain. Okay, if you are searches for the element, and then the next is contain all. If with the collections, if you are passing here, you are passing the object, and contain all, you are passing the collection. Means you are searching inside the collection. If you are you are searching inside the collections, then contain, use contain all. If you are finding anything, then contain normal search. Clearing everything. Size, finding the size. Add all and add. Okay, so this is all about the collections. Then exceptions throw करते हैं collection में. Yes, we can throw the exceptions inside the collections. There may be a chance of getting exceptions while working with the collection. So these are the unsupported null pointer exception, the famous one you will find here, which occur during when you try to store the null object in the collection. When we are storing null object inside this collection, you will get a null pointer exception. Then class cast exception, this is one of the exceptions, means occur when one object is incompatible with the another object. Okay, if you are assigning both, one object is of array and another is of set, then they are incompatible. So class cast exceptions might be you will face. Then illegal state exceptions are also there, which is true if you try to add the element to already full collections. Means the collection you are means like the same array, if you are defining of 5 and adding the sixth element inside the array, it will give array out of bound exception. The similar way, if collection is full and you are try to add, then it will give you the error illegal set exceptions. Okay, so these are the exceptions are present inside the collection. I hope the what is collection is the idea is pretty clear to all of you. What is collection? So collection framework दिया हुआ है जावा ने. Inside that all the basic implementation of data structure is present. Okay, so just implement है तो interface to implement those interfaces in class and add your logic. You don't need any big code for that. Okay, so this is the way Java collections happen. What the array list is, what is linked list, has said, we'll see in the next lecture. Okay, so how we'll see the how we can add, how can we create array list or linked list or any hash set. We'll see the example of this three basically these three sets: set, list and map. One example, how can we add, how can we find the length, size, or we can how we can clear those objects. So all these methods will implement on that collections part. So in the next session we'll check we'll do the programming part of this array list, linked list, hash set and hash map. Okay, and then we'll move to the JDBC, which is the last part of the Java. After that, I hope you will get pretty hands-on in the Java and this Java programming language. So we'll see the JDBC, what the jar file, external third-party jar files is needed. I will provide that. We'll check this in the next session. Then Java collection class is a part of your framework. I already discussed collection S and with not S. Okay, so this collection class is a part of your collection framework. This class is designed to provide the method for searching, sorting, copying. Okay, it consists of exclusively built-in static method that operate on or written collections. So collections with the S is your object class. It is a class where a collection with C capital and not an S, it is your interface. Okay, so collections, I hope collection is clear, what the interfaces are there, what classes are there. Set, list and queue, both basic difference देखा है. Set have the unique unique element, no duplicate are present in the set. If any interviewer give the exam ask you the question like I want to create one data structure. For example, I want to create a data structure for a fruit. If this example is asked in your interview, so and I want to put apple, mango, apple. Okay, apple, mango, apple. But I don't want apple two times. So that time, what collection you will prefer, or what data type you consider? That time you always say I will go with the set, because set don't contain duplicate element. Though you are adding it apple, mango, apple or banana, but when you print all this, print the state at the end, you will see the two apple only one times. Okay, so it do not contain any duplicate element. Least it is ordered one, fast one, but contain duplicate element. Okay, it is fast. List is very fast as compared to the set. Means fast in the sense processing wise. So list is processing wise is very fast. Okay, ordered one is there. Then map is key value pair. Only single key is null. Means for a one key, null value is fine, but not more than that. Okay. So one null key is fine for the map, and it is map always come with a key value pair. Okay. So JSON data is example for the map. क्योंकि जेसन डेटा अगर आपने देखा होगा सो जेसन डेटा ऑलवेज कम विद द की वैल्यू पेयर. ओके, so that is the map. Array list, array linked list, we'll see in the next what is difference between both. Then the set also. Okay, so list contain duplicate, that is why it is written as array list also contain duplicate element. Okay, but what it is maintained, its order is maintained. Okay, why people go with the array list not with array? Because once you declared the array na, for fixed number of time, it can't be extend. Okay, but array list can extend. Means it can be grow, it can be shrink, whatever you want. So most of the people go with an array list. Okay, whenever they do the programmings. If we know that your size is fixed, then go with an array. If it is not no, then go with an array list. So dynamically it behind the scene, it is array only. Okay, so that's it from my side. I hope you'll means the concept, two three concept I we discussed today, like multi-threading. Now collection is not completed till, but collections. The brief idea about the collection exception handling. Okay, so collection and JDBC is pending from my end. So we'll stop here, and we'll see tomorrow. We'll probably see the SVN and Git, means what is repository and how the DevOps team is working in the industry. So we'll see that in tomorrow's lecture. Okay, so any questions are there, anything? If yes, please ping. Okay, I hope you don't have any questions. We'll stop here. We'll see you tomorrow. Okay, thank you, thanks a lot.
हेलो ओए सुमित